In this video we're going to have a look at aggregation. Aggregation is a stronger type of association, but it's not as strong as composition. So the main difference between simple association and also composition and aggregation is that in aggregation you use a pointer inside. You create a pointer object inside the other class, so you link through a pointer. So if you don't see a pointer, it's most likely not a aggregation. It's maybe a simple association or it's composition. So let's create an example. Okay, we're going to use a car and an engine.
We don't want to.
So we have a car class. Let's create that, and we create a class engine. And I'm going to make this public. So we might make both of these public. Now, so we're gonna make this simple. Okay, we're gonna keep it simple, so I'm going to say void. We're gonna create a function called start. Okay, because the engine starts. Okay, and I'm gonna print out engine starting. Okay, so let's just do that. Engine is starting. So we just have one function in that class. Now in here we are going to create a function. Okay, and I'm gonna call this derive. Okay, a drive function, and we're going to say here cout. And before I do cout, let me just tell you the main difference between the previous video and the current one. In association, what we did is that we had a parameter in here in the function, and it was a parameter of the student class. Okay, or the class that we were creating a relationship with. But the thing in association or aggregation, sorry, is that we don't necessarily create the object, a parameter object. We create an object outside the function. So here I'm gonna say engine, and here we're gonna create a pointer, and I'm going to say eng. Okay, so we have an engine. Now to access the start, we're going to access the start function. Okay, we're going to start the engine from the car class. So how do we do that? We call the object, okay, and we access its start function. Now we're not going to use dot syntax, because dot syntax is used for normal variables or normal objects. We are going to use an arrow like this. Why? Because it is a pointer. So like that, start, and it's gonna say engine is starting. And let me just, before I get something else, put the new line break there. So now we have engine, so start, and this is just because of my IDE, okay, that I'm using. It makes this arrow. Don't get confused. Alright, then we have once we start the engine, I'm gonna say cout car starting. Car is, or the car doesn't start, the car drives, so we're just gonna say car is driving, and we just put the non-breaking space at the end. Now we have that done, and okay, that's fine. Now let's make the driver code for this. We are going to first we're going to make the engine class. Okay, so engine like that, and then we're going to create a car object, and we're gonna pass this inside here. Okay, so what we needed to do, which we forgot by the way, is to implement or make a constructor. So we're gonna make a constructor here, a constructor function. Okay, car, and in the parameter of this car we're going to create an another engine object, so because we want to pass it in. Okay, so here I know I said that you cannot do the difference between simple association and aggregation is that in simple association you have a parameter object, but we do this in aggregation because okay, let me just do it, you'll see it. Okay, so I create a pointer like that, and then what I do next is that I say this engine right over here, which we created inside of the class, we're gonna pass this engine object, we're gonna make it equal to that one, we're gonna put it in there. So we're gonna pass an engine here, and that engine is gonna come in here, and that engine is gonna be passed into this current engine, the engine of the car here, similar to what a mechanic does. Okay, so we have two we have a foreign engine that we are putting inside of this car, okay, to make the car drive. Think of it like that. And engine, we put the engine inside, and we do it, pass it by reference. Okay, so we don't just put it in like that because it's an object after all. So we pass it by reference because of its nature of being an object. Then we say car dot drive, we call the drive function here, and let's run the code. First we compile it, and what happened here, it gave us a lot of errors. So I'm just going to debug this. Let me just see what I did wrong. Public, okay, car is also public, and this is alright. I think maybe the windshield is here. Engine ENG, okay, that's fine. Engine, that's fine. And ENG dot start, so we're calling that start function, that's fine. Car is driving intent. Okay, I don't see. Oh, okay. Oh no, that's not an error. I thought that was not an error. Let me run this again to see what's happening. Okay, so it says here operator, no type name, type in. Alright, I found the issue. This wasn't supposed to be cout because it's of void return type there. So let's just remove that and compile it again. It's taking some time, and it compiled. So once we run it, we can see engine is starting, car is driving. So that's aggregation.